It looks like about 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers.
Status check. Status check. How far we got to go?
It looks like about 2 kilometers.
About 2 kilometers.
like we're not talking about one generation. We're talking about multiple generations before it would clear up enough to even be able to get off the fucking planet. So
Yeah, and honestly, dude, to be totally honest with you,
yeah.
I listen. Do I believe there are other beings on other planets? Yes. Do I believe maybe they have the technology to get to us? Maybe.
Well, what do you
Right?
think
I
about all
mean,
the UFO stuff that's been coming out?
well, I mean, listen. Here's the deal, man. I mean, how much thrust does it take us just to break our or just to break
No,
our?
no, no. You're right. So this is the way they think about it, right? So the idea, this is how what they have in mind. So we're gonna have to get, we already have some space stations and stuff up there. The idea is you would have to build these things in space, but you can mine asteroids, and that's why every type of thing that starts to look at doing this stuff into the future is about going to these asteroid belts, mining the raw materials there, and keeping them in space, and just using it from there, and building
Who's
whatever
paying,
you need to build.
who's paying for that, Mike?
Fuck, you got what's his name, Jeff Bezos, and all of these guys are already trying to spend money on this kind of thing.
And like, listen.
It will be a private
You're gonna-
company that goes and tries to start mining stuff. In
I mean, like, if you're gonna mine asteroids, that's fine. I mean, I remember watching a special on that when I was in high school, right? Where you had two guys mining this one asteroid, and like, we found gold. Now who cares? We found
Right.
water. Oh, that's
gold.
Yeah.
And iron ores and things like that. There'd be so much of that shit out there. You wouldn't know what to do with it. Water and iron ore would be the thing that would be the.
For your movie, right? I mean, just me, right?
Right.
Granted, it was a minute too long, but I mean, dude, it is what it is. But a guy exploring Mars, you need. I hate to say, it, you almost have to make it like the Predator.
Right.
Right.
By the way, those are
Where-
Predator ideas with the HUD, right? Did you notice that sort of Predator?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
look?
yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the whole point of you're sending in Schwarzenegger.
Well, no, listen, it's not just that, right? All right, real quick, let me just finish my idea, then you can shoot it down.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
my idea is like, all right, so you got Tesla, who's flying into space right now, and Bezos. My guess is that within 25 years, they want to have hotels on the moon because they're already talking
Yeah.
about flying people into the stratosphere for flights and stuff like that. The next step is to put a fucking hotel on the moon for the rich people to go to the moon. So you got people on the moon. Now, NASA has sent a mission to Mars at this point. I'm thinking 25 years in the future, right? They've sent a thing to Mars. We've got a space station up there, which is where people actually go to first so they can be pressurized and all that stuff like that. So anyway, the idea being that you might have, say, 3,000-4,000 people in space, and then this fucking event happens, and all of these fucking people, not only can you not get off the Earth, but you can't get back to the Earth. You're fucked. You're in
You're dead.
space, and you can't.
You're dead.
Maybe not. Maybe they can figure out a way to make it. But the idea, that was the setup, was like this event happens. These fucking people are out there in space. Some of them are going to Mars. Some of them are on the moon. Some of them are on a space shuttle or space station. Maybe they move up high enough to keep from getting in the middle of the shit. Anyway, now you can shoot it down. But that was the full idea. Is like you got people in space who now have to Lord of the Rings it. And you got a bunch of rich people up there. You got a bunch of... I mean, you think about it, all those people would have money. Like, there's nobody that's going to be up there that's going to be the only people that are going to be up there that are working people are the people who are actually up there working.
So we're gonna have a bunch of Mexicans,
Yes, they're the guys who do the loading and unloading of the fucking ships,
Me
right?
and my brethren, we're gonna be up there loading and unloading.
There'll be maids at the hotel on But I was thinking about the hotel on the moon could be really cool. You got a dish like that place in Nashville, right? What's that fucking place? God, I've lived there and I can't even remember of it. Anyway, they got a big fishbowl and the hotel's inside of the big fishbowl.
Oh shit, never been there. I also know they had that Citibank building that looks like Batman's head. I was like, wow.
Yeah, the Batman building. They call it. They actually call it the Batman. It's the AT&T building, but they call it the Batman building.
I'd call it the Batman building. There's just you can't get away from it.
No, they even call it that there.
Dude,
Sorry, tell me about my idea. Shoot my idea down.
No, there's no idea to be shot down. I just, like I said, like
you're right.
It's just a setup. No, exactly. It's just a setup, and you almost want to do like, why is he walking on Mars.
Well, that's the thing, right? He's obviously going to look for something. I didn't want to say too much. The only clue you get is that I'm out there going to find something Paul wants me to find, and I don't even know what the fuck it is. I'm headed to this, and you see a little. If you look close, you see a little radar beep, right? I'm headed to that dot. That's where I'm going, and so obviously it's a short scene, and we catch it.
Did you mention the radar at all?
I don't mention it. Nope. It's just there beeping, and it's one of those things that you're supposed to pick up yourself. You know.
You know what? Then you know what? Then you have to make it a little bit more obvious because there's a lot going on.
I know.
There's a lot going on in your monitor, right?
Right.
I'm looking at this side. I'm looking at this side, and I'm looking at Paul.
Right.
I'm too fixated looking at Paul.
Right. Of course. Which is why he's not there at first. But maybe I was thinking about having him come in and out too. Like when he's not talking, just have him disappear. But then I thought the static after he starts staticking worked out good to really explain to you what was happening there. You know, that we're losing transmission.
Like if you want, like on your whole radar thing, you can make like a red blip, or you know what you could also do, you can make it seem like your communication sort of scratches, almost like VMix. You lose your right, so you do you lose static for a second because the storms are starting to happen.
Right.
See, the storms are starting to happen, and just like regular cable TV, just like regular dish, when you get bad weather, what happens? You lose signal.
Right. I do kind of have that going on at the last half of it, right? He starts to, and also, you don't notice it unless you really look, but the last shot, suddenly, not just the beep in front of him is happening, but you see all these beeps behind him happening as well.
So, I mean, that's
but it's the kind of thing you don't notice unless you look at it a couple times and really break it down shot by shot.
And like I said, you said it's a minute 2 movie.
Yes.
If there's that much going on, a lot of people aren't going to grab that, and I didn't grab all that.
I know, but I do like the idea that there's more there than you. I think that works on you subconsciously. I think that's one of the reasons why it works is because there's a lot going on there. Your mind's like, okay, something. I don't see everything that's going on, but like the Alien movie, I couldn't tell you what all those goddamn buttons were, but the fact that there were buttons everywhere just make you go, fuck, this is real, right? Look at Alien again and just look at it. Dude, the fucking look of that movie is so amazing. I mean, scene after scene. Right. I'm trying to find a fucking scene in the movie that doesn't look good and doesn't keep, that takes me out of that place that they're in, and I couldn't find one yesterday.
You know what? I hate to say this, but what if, no.
Any idea is a good one.
I mean, like, you know how you said you wanted backgrounds?
Uh-huh.
You're going to be too busy working, but shit, I was thinking, like, going to a fucking, like, the Museum of Science and Industry. And
taking some real shots, yeah.
And videotaping some of the backgrounds they have.
Yeah, because I could easily fly that shit in, especially just even a static shot, right?
Because you got to remember something. The Museum of Science and Industry has their own space, a portion of it.
Uh-huh.
They had the actual landing, right? They had like one of the actual old landings.
The Apollo 11, right? The one that came, the capsule or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they have out there, they have it. And I don't know if you could just like videotape some of that as your background.
Well, dude, I wish I could show it to you from here, but you should take a look. I'll Dropbox it because I was supposed to send it to a buddy of mine anyway. Because the problem I had is I was trying to. So when you're dealing with 3D models, all the stuff that they put on the 3D models are called textures, right? So so the things came with the textures, but but there's AutoCAD has been around forever. That's a 3D software. There's one called Maya. There's Cinema 4D. Unreal Engine, the one that I'm working for, is mainly for throwing together a bunch of different 3D assets and making it work, which you can do in Houdini and Cinema 4D. Anyway, long story short, with all of these different versions of it, Blender, which is free, is also one, right? So I tried